we've got with us here Sister White, Anita White. Let me tell you, Sister White celebrating her 94th birthday. Just last week, she celebrated her 94th birthday. She's not able to get out as often as she is, but to see her coming here tonight makes me feel really good. Is Sister Smith in the house tonight? Sister Smith? No, she isn't. I know. Okay, all right, okay, fine. But Sister White, it's sweet to see it. It really is nice to see it. Sister White has been like a mother. Sister White has been here from the early. Oh, you'll hear more about it in a little while. Now, what I am trying to do now is just to talk a little bit about the early days. But before I say that, let me just say something. Even if you came into this church yesterday, you're just as important. But you know, so I just don't want you to think, well, all these old people talking about 40 years ago. I ain't old, am I? Oh, right, thank you. The psalmist David said it's a good thing to give thanks unto the Lord. And today we thank him for his love and for his mercies and his many benefits that he has bestowed upon us throughout the 40 years. Some people say it's not good to look back. They say, what are you bothering about behind for? Look forward. But you know, if there wasn't a yesterday, there couldn't be a today. And it's important for us to look back at sometimes. It helps us to appreciate today more and encourages us to go forward. Although we have been in this building for 40 years, we could look back even a little further. And you know what? I would like you just to cast your eyes just around this beautiful edifice. The first stone was laid for this church on the 5th of May, 1863, 141 years ago. And I think that is something, they don't make it like this anymore. So we have plenty to give God thanks. We thank God for our forefathers who erected these beautiful sanctuaries so that we could be in here tonight and praising the Lord. Now, this first one, I'm just telling you about them first, you know. The first one was laid by Samuel Morton and Petro Bart. They were MPs. And as I said, that is in 1863. Now, about us here, who have been here 40 years, prior to worshiping here, we were at Bovia Road in Stoke Newington. And unfortunately, in 1963, we were turned out of the Scout Hall, you know, for whatever reason. And we had to, you know, we wanted to stay together. So we were worshiping in a home, at Sister Harvey's home in Tottenham. She opened her door for us to have prayer meeting, midweek meeting, family challenge, and everything else, Sunday morning meetings and Sunday evening meetings and whatever. In October 1963, this building was found by Brother Kelly Wright. Now, some of these names are foreign to many of us, but I think it's good to know because some of their children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren may be sitting in here today. And we want them to know that we do appreciate them all. This building was up for sale. You know, I'm talking because I was there. I was there, so, you know. It was up for sale, but not publicly. Because in those days, people were buying these buildings to turn them into factories. And the owner of this building was the Baptist organization. And they said they did not want to sell it to anybody else but a religious group. So it was on the fire that we were able to get it. It was just a few of us. I wish I had that slide with the few of us. And I think it was about 50 people that actually came in. And you know, in those days, there were no senior citizens. We were all young people with perhaps young children going to work. There were no grannies to leave the children with, so it wasn't easy. But you know, we didn't have much money. There were no big old earners. We didn't have any funding from anywhere. But we didn't look at the bigness of the problem. We looked at the bigness of our God. And in 1964, we were able to purchase this place. As I said, we just had a few members, but we believe God. There was a lot of cooperation those days between the brethren as we decided to sacrifice our wages. And you know, in those days, I mean, if you got £10 a week, was a whole heap of money. So we've sacrificed wages to help with the down payment. There was one brother here, Brother Ebenezer Reed. He's gone on to glory. But his daughters and his grandchildren are still worshiping here. And we give God thanks for them. He is the one who had owned a house. And he took his own house and put it up as security for us to get this building. We are still here worshiping. The building wasn't in use. When we bought it, it had been locked up for quite a while. And so there was a lot of work to do. There was a lot of repairs and cleaning to be done. The task was great, but we had a lot of people cooperating. Unfortunately, we were not the only ones occupying the building. The pigeons had made their home here. And my dear, as you know what pigeons like to do, we had mother pigeon, father pigeon, baby pigeon, and I'm sure there were grandmother and grandfather pigeons. And those of you who can remember, when we actually came in here, those pigeons didn't want to leave. And sometimes you would be praying and then you feel something pass by your head. It was a pigeon. But it was still wonderful. We were blessed with good tradesmen. We had carpenters, we had plumbers, we had electricians, and the people had a mind to work. Each evening, they left from their workplace and they came here. We came down here to clean. You know what pigeons like to do best. And I tell you, we did clean. But you know, there was such joy in doing the work of God. Each evening after work, we headed for Cricketfield Road. We cleaned, we painted, we scrubbed, we decorated because the people were faithful. We didn't have money to pay out workers, so people had to, you know, we just chipped in together and worked. For example, when we came here, this place was very, very dreary. I don't think the services that used to go on would have lasted more than about half an hour. So the lights were very, very dim. And if you cast your eyes, if you could turn your head up there and see those lights that we put up there, it was our Pastor Kennedy. He was an electrician. And you know, not so long ago, I was saying to him, Pastor Kennedy, because I was a young girl then. I was saying, how did you get up there to put those lights up there? He said, when I look back on now, I realized how risky it was. They didn't have scaffolding. Not that they didn't have, but we probably didn't know about scaffolding. So it was ladders, and he said to me, your father used to stand at the bottom of the ladder holding while I put that up there. Pastor Kennedy would have liked to be here today, but unfortunately he isn't. And I give God thanks, it's still up there. 40 years later, it is still up there, the lights are still up there. When we came, there were no auto rails here, of course, but we had good carpenters, like Brother Morrisson, Brother Small, and Brother Calvert Arnold. And they built the rails along here 40 years ago, and they're still standing because they can't get us other workmen anymore. And I'm going to pick up my husband, he's standing back there. Yes, well, isn't it? He was one of them who was here building these rails, and I thank God for them. Many of you have been baptized in this church. We had no baptism pool, but the men, they dug the pool downstairs, including my father, God rest his soul. And today there's a pool down there where you can get baptized. You know, we have to remember where we are coming from. It didn't just start yesterday. And we give God thanks for our loved ones who have gone on before. Brother Griffith, God rest his soul, all those glasses were broken. And he took time, bit by bit, and pasted them back in new ones. He wasn't a, what do you call them? Glazier. But you know, people, we didn't have money to pay out anything. And I just got to give thanks for those people. And on the 4th of April 1964, a day like today, we were able to open this house, and it was rededicated to the Lord, and to God be the glory for that. We had no proper heating. I must put this bit, because you see this winter that we have here now, young people, this is summertime. It was cold. We had no proper heating, but guess what? We used to come with our paraffin heater and laga with it on the bus, because we didn't have. It was very few. I think it was just Brother Small who owned the car. And then we had 3 brothers who had Brother Mackenzie, God rest his soul, Brother Reed, and Brother Malcolm, who had some vans that needed repairing every other day. But they used it to the glory of God. So we came along with our paraffin heaters, and we sat together, and we kept each other warm. So we give God the glory for that. I'm coming down. I can't tell you 40 years, too many things have happened. Today, 40 years later, we give thanks to God for his help. It was not by might, nor was it by power, but it was by the Spirit of God. And I believe that this place is still standing as a lighthouse, because it was built on a very firm foundation, one of prayer and fasting and sound teaching. May God help us as we continue. We have been blessed with good ministers throughout the years. You'll hear them from Reverend Kennedy to today we've got our Reverend Robinson. Let us continue to pray for them. As you heard this morning, a lot of ministers have come out of this congregation. A lot of 2 overseers have come out of this congregation. And I won't tell you a lot more. I think it's just the early history. Just telling you where we're coming from. But as I said it before, regardless of what point you came on, whether it was last night, you're still important. God bless you.
Did you enjoy that? Okay, that was just a taste of the early history of this particular church.